I was reviewing quarterly reports when my phone buzzed. A text from my wife lit up the screen. Mountain cabin girls trip extended. Connection here is unbelievable. I stared at the word connection a little longer than necessary. I doubted she meant it the way it sounded, but it landed differently anyway. Axel from accounting walked past my desk and slowed down. "You good? You look like someone just told you your truck died." "Something like that," I said, setting my phone face down. The truth was, I'd been noticing the signs for months. Small things at first. Her phone suddenly had a passcode. Messages that made her smile in a way I hadn't seen directed at me in years. New clothes hanging in the closet without explanation. Girls' nights that went from once a month to every week. And then there was Liam. Or Lakin. The co-worker who apparently needed her input on projects at 9 o'clock on Saturday nights. The same guy who loved hiking, craft beer and renovating cabins. Interests my wife had conveniently adopted over the last 6 months. When she announced the cabin trip 3 weeks ago, I didn't argue. I didn't interrogate her. I just said, "Have fun. Sometimes you have to give people enough rope." Axel leaned against my cubicle wall. "Whatever's happening, you've got that look. That scary calm look." "I'm handling it." "Handling what?" "A situation that's about to resolve itself." I wasn't angry. Anger is loud. It's reckless. It makes you say things you can't take back. What I felt was cold. Like solving a problem you've been avoiding and finally seeing the answer. My phone buzzed again. The fresh air up here is amazing. Thinking of staying through the weekend. It was Wednesday. I picked up my phone and made a call. Not to her. To Boone Legal Services. "How can I help you?" the receptionist asked. "I need to speak with Mr. Boone about initiating divorce proceedings. Today if possible." Axel's eyebrows shot up. I held up a finger, signaling him to wait. A moment later, Mr. Boone came on the line. His tone was direct, efficient. "What's the situation?" "Straightforward infidelity. No kids. The house is solely in my name. I need papers drafted and served as soon as possible. I can see you at 3 this afternoon." "Perfect." I hung up. Axel stared at me. "You're serious?" "I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to act like a man who can't function without his wife," I said evenly. "She made her choices. Now she can live with the consequences." My phone buzzed again. A photo this time. Hers smiling at a mountain sunset. The kind of smile people wear when they think they're getting away with something. I forwarded the picture to my personal email for documentation. Then I opened my banking app. Joint checking. Joint savings. Time to separate the accounts. Are the joint accounts easily accessible? I asked myself, making a mental note to deal with them after my meeting. At 2:45 I left work early. My supervisor didn't question it. One look at my face must have told him enough. Smart man. Mr. Boone's office smelled like leather and old paper. He called me back exactly at 3. Mid-50s, gray at the temples, firm handshake. The kind of attorney who didn't waste time. I laid everything out. The timeline, the messages, the photos, the cabin trip, the house. He listened, took notes, nodded. "This is refreshingly straightforward," he said. "No children and the house is solely in your name. That simplifies things." The house had been titled in my name years ago because of her credit issues. She'd insisted. I thought I was helping. Irony has a sharp edge. He promised the paperwork by the next morning and service by the following afternoon. "Does she know you're aware?" he asked. "Not yet." He gave a faint, knowing smile. The clients who come in calm and prepared usually leave in a better position. I walked out with a plan and a court date set 6 weeks ahead. My phone buzzed as I reached my truck. "Missing you. Can't wait to tell you all about this trip when I get back." I typed a reply. Deleted it. Started the engine instead and drove to the county recorder's office. They closed at 5. I made it with 20 minutes to spare. I filed documentation to reaffirm the house as solely mine. $30 fee. Best money I'd spent all week. That evening the house felt different. Quieter. Like it understood something was shifting. I ordered takeout, sat on the couch and opened our banking app. A few taps. A few transfers. I moved my legally calculated half into my personal account. Clean. Documented. Defensible. I'd handle the rest at the bank tomorrow. Another text came in. "Good night. Sweet dreams." I powered off my phone and went to bed. Tomorrow would be interesting. She had no idea. Thursday morning, I woke up at 6 feeling more rested than I had in months. Clarity does that. Coffee brewed. My phone lit up. Decided to stay one more day. Weather's perfect. I didn't answer. Instead, I called the bank and scheduled an appointment that afternoon. Joint accounts were about to become very unjoint. At work, Axel cornered me in the break room. So what happened yesterday? Lawyers handling it. Papers are ready. You're not messing around. I'm not planning a vacation, I said. I'm planning an exit. Same level of organization. Mid-morning Mr. Boone called. Documents are ready. If you provide her location, the process server can deliver today. The photo she'd sent still had location data attached. Pine Ridge Cabin Rentals. Small mountain town. I forwarded the address. The server will head out this afternoon, he said. At noon I met with Ms. Bentley at the bank. Efficient. Direct. No small talk. I need to separate joint accounts, transfer my portion and close joint credit cards, I explained. She pulled everything up. About 45 minutes. I signed where she pointed. By the time I left, $17,000 sat in my personal account. My half of savings and checking transferred cleanly and legally. Joint credit cards frozen. Financial lines redrawn. My phone remained silent. He was probably hiking. Or laughing over craft beer. Completely unaware that while she extended her trip, I was dismantling the foundation beneath it. At 3:47 p.m. my phone rang. Mr. Boone. The process server confirmed delivery, he said. She was served at a cafe in town. She tried to refuse the envelope at first, but the server calmly explained her options. Refusing wouldn't change anything. It was legal. It was happening. She took the papers, tight-lipped and furious. I sat on the couch and waited. 12 minutes later my phone detonated. Missed calls. Rapid-fire texts. The screen froze for a second from the flood of notifications. Call me right now. This is insane. You can't be serious. I let it ring. Then I blocked her number, just long enough to eat dinner in silence. At 6 p.m. an unknown number flashed across my screen. I answered. What the hell is wrong with you? Her voice trembled. Anger mixed with panic. Disbelief. Divorce papers? She snapped. Are you out of your mind? I'm exactly in my mind, I said evenly. We need to talk. We're talking. This is the conversation. You were served. Explained why. Now you deal with it. I'm coming home right now. Don't rush on my account. Enjoy your trip. Enjoy Liam. Silence. Heavy. You know exactly what I'm talking about, I continued. You actually think. I don't think anything, she cut in. No, I said. I'm done pretending I don't. I didn't do anything wrong. Then come home and prove it. Another pause. But you won't be coming back to our house. That's my house, she shot back. You can't kick me out. Already did. The deed's updated. Accounts are separated. You'll need to find somewhere else to stay. The anger drained from her voice. What remained was fear. You're serious? She whispered. I didn't answer. I blocked that number too. More unknown numbers followed. I sent them all to voicemail. Axel texted. Dude, your sister-in-law just called asking for your number. Long story, I replied. Don't give her anything. You good? Better than I've been in months. At 8 p.m. her sister Mackenzie knocked on the door. I opened it but didn't invite her inside. We need to talk, she said. About what? About whatever's going on between you two. Nothing's going on. She's up there on vacation. Soon we'll be legally separated. She said you served her while she was on a trip. She extended the trip. I extended the courtesy of prompt notice. Time matters. She stared at me like I'd grown another head. You're acting like this is a business deal. It is. Marriage is a contract. She breached it. I'm dissolving it. She's my sister. She's my soon-to-be ex-wife. Your loyalty is to her. Mine is to myself now. We clear. I closed the door. The phone stayed chaotic. Voicemails I didn't check, texts from people I barely spoke to. I ordered pizza, put on a movie and ignored it all. By midnight the storm slowed. I knew it was only the beginning. Friday morning was strangely quiet. 3 notifications instead of 300. Halfway through my coffee, A sharp knock rattled the door. I looked through the window. Her parents. Both sisters. Cousin Nora. The entire family delegation standing on my porch. I opened the door but didn't step aside. Her father, Wesley, spoke first. "We need to talk about this situation." "What situation?" "You served my daughter divorce papers while she's away." "I served my wife divorce papers while she extended her mountain getaway." The timing seemed appropriate. "This is ridiculous," he snapped. "You can't throw away 7 years over some misunderstanding." "That's the problem," I said. "There's no misunderstanding." Her mother, Susan, tried a softer approach. "Please. Let's just talk." Addison crossed her arms. "You accused her of cheating. That's insane. She would never." I looked at her directly. "Your sister extended a girl's trip by 3 days to explore an incredible connection in a mountain cabin. Does that sound innocent?" No one answered. "That's what I thought." Wesley's face flushed red. "You're destroying a family over assumptions." "I'm protecting myself from repeated disrespect." "Can we come inside and discuss this like adults?" Mackenzie asked. "No," I kept my voice calm. "This is my house. My property. I'm not obligated to invite anyone in." Susan's voice cracked. "You're being cruel." "I'm being clear." "Can we at least see the messages?" Wesley asked. I turned my phone toward them, the texts, the photos, the timestamps. The timeline spoke for itself. Expressions shifted. Mackenzie bit her lip. Addison looked away. "This doesn't prove anything," Wesley said, but the force had drained from his voice. "It doesn't have to prove anything in court. It only has to prove enough for me. And it does." "You didn't even try counseling," Susan said. "Work out what?" I asked. "The lies. The deleted messages? The part where she cared more about protecting her phone than her husband? Which part should therapy fix?" Silence again. A neighbor slowed down across the street, took one look at the gathering and quickly went back inside. Susan opened her mouth, ready to try one more time. "Please." Susan tried one last time, her voice trembling. "Just talk to her when she gets back." "I gave her 7 years of chances," I said. "She used every one of them." "You're making a mistake," Wesley warned. "The only mistake I made was not doing this sooner." That ended it. They stepped off the porch one by one. Wesley paused long enough to throw over his shoulder, "You'll be hearing from us again." "I'm sure I will," I replied calmly. "My lawyers are ready whenever you are." Susan wiped her eyes. Mackenzie glanced back like she wanted to speak, but she stayed silent and followed the others to their cars. At 2 p.m., a locksmith pulled into the driveway. By 3 p.m., every lock in the house had been replaced. The old keys were useless. At 4 p.m. I began packing her belongings. Clothes, toiletries, books, decorative pieces she'd insisted we needed. I worked methodically, no anger, no sadness. Just completion. By 7 p.m. 15 neatly labeled boxes sat in the garage, ready for pickup. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Wesley Whitehead. "We need to discuss this." "There's nothing to discuss. It's handled." "You're being unreasonable." "I'm being clear about boundaries." "She's devastated." "She'll survive." "People do." Sunday morning was quiet. Peaceful. I made breakfast. Read the news. Went for a run. Ordinary things that suddenly felt extraordinary. Mrs. Roberts from next door showed up with a casserole dish. "For what it's worth," she said gently, "you handled this well. Sometimes walking away is the only option." "Thank you," I told her. She patted my arm. "You'll be fine." He was right. I already was. 3 weeks later she showed up at my workplace. Security called my desk. "There's someone here to see you." She looked composed, hair done, makeup perfect, like she'd rehearsed this moment. "We need to talk," she said. 5 minutes, I agreed. We sat inside my truck. "I'm sorry," she began. "I messed up." "Hey," I said. She blinked. "Okay. What do you want me to say? That I forgive you? That we can fix it?" "We can't. Trust doesn't grow back once it's gone." She wiped her eyes. "Liam was a mistake. One stupid night. I regretted it immediately." "Congratulations," I said evenly. "You feel bad? Want to meddle?" I didn't soften. "You had months to fix this. Instead, you chose someone else. I'm choosing myself. He reached for my hand. I pulled it away. Please. I'll do anything. There's nothing left to do. Papers are filed. Court date set. We're done. I stepped out of the truck and walked back inside without looking back. 3 weeks later, the court date arrived. She showed up with a lawyer. She looked smaller somehow. The judge asked the standard questions, reviewed the filings, and 15 minutes later it was official. Divorced. Outside the courthouse, she said, "I hope you're happy." "I'm content," I replied. "That's better." I went home, ordered takeout, and sat in my quiet house. Free. Officially free. No regret. Just forward motion. 3 months later, I ran into Mackenzie at the hardware store. She admitted everything after the divorce, she said quietly. Liam. The lies. It went on for 2 months. Then he moved on. I nodded. You were right, she added. The family feels awful. You were protecting your sister, I said. I understand. She hesitated. For what it's worth, you handled it better than most people would. She deserves someone better, Mackenzie added softly. I know, I said. That's why I left. Home felt like home again. No shared tension. No second-guessing. Just space and calm. Axel came by that weekend with a couple of beers. We sat on the deck and watched the sun sink below the trees. You seem different, he said. Lighter, I answered. Any regrets? None. Think you'll start dating again? Maybe. When I'm ready. No rush. Later that night, alone in the quiet house, I thought about what people might say. That I gave up too easily. That I should have fought harder. Those people didn't live my life. They didn't watch trust dissolve piece by piece. I made the right call, the only call that protected my dignity. I didn't just end a broken marriage. I reclaimed my peace. My self-respect. My future. No regrets. Only forward.